Do you think we'll have a third double-digit return year in 2025? Does that happen often? I'm guessing that you're asking this because 2024, the S&P 500 had a return of 23%, and then the year before that in 2023, it had a return of 26%. And you're probably wondering, can this thing keep rolling into 2025? Has that ever happened before? So I'll show you how many times we've had double-digit returns 3 years in a row, and then what's the likelihood of it happening again? And then I'm going to give you 3 ideas on how to position yourself moving forward, really starting now and moving forward into the years coming up. And if I haven't met you yet, I'm Dave Zoller, owner of retirement planning firm Streamline Financial with Tim and Luke and Sean. And just in the last 16 years of helping people with retirement, there have been 2 of these 3-year periods of double-digit returns. But I'll show you an image going further back so you can get a better idea of how often this actually happens. Now, before we get into it, we need to remember that bull markets or bear markets, they don't pay attention to whether it's January 1 or December 31st. The market doesn't look at calendar years. It follows cycles of fear and confidence and then fear again. It's impacted by other factors like economic growth or what the Fed is doing or corporate earnings or what tech changes are happening. There's many other things that impact cycles and the markets. And when it comes to cycles, it's actually good to revisit this, which maybe you've seen before, and you've heard the quote on how markets rise on hope and optimism and belief, and then they die on euphoria. And we go back to anxiety, denial, panic. This one's good. Take a picture if you'd like. One I really like is actually this one, because this is how most investors, what emotions they're feeling, and then here's what you're feeling. The smart investor, right? Staying pretty stoic, maybe until the end. And then one more very simple one, which I love from Carl Richards, Behavior Gap. This is common: greed, buy, fear, sell, and then repeat until broke. That's what we are going to avoid. But now let's look at the actual numbers and key findings here, and then talk about how to position ourselves moving forward. So going back to 1960, let me pull it up. We've seen 7 instances of these 3 consecutive years of double-digit returns. Here, 1950, 51, 52, then 63, 64, 65. And then in the 90s, we had really 5 years in a row, 5 or 4 years. It was starting with 95 and then 96 and then 97. All 3 of those were 3 years of double-digit returns. And then we had 2 of these instances, 2012 and then 2019. And then here's the snapshot, some of the returns, if you wanted to see what the actual numbers were. And here's the key findings. This is what stuck out to me. On average, these sequences occur every 9.5 years, according to the last 60 years. And then we saw in the late 90s, there was a unique period where we had these 3 overlapping sequences. And then between 1965 and 1995, that was a 30-year gap.